Welcome, internet friends near and far, to another episode of Parks and Conversation. This is a podcast where we talk about parks and recreation, because what else is there to talk about? And as COVID is winding down, now everybody has a podcast, and so we're a part of that group too. It was government mandate. It came with the stimulus checks. It's like Uncle Biden said, here's a podcast, so here we are.
You got to get your podcast percentages up before we can open.
Exactly. You got to get your infection rate down of the COVID, but your podcast infection up. So that's just kind of some things behind the curtain for y'all. Maybe you didn't get your podcast stimulus yet, and you're blessed. So my name is Jason. I'm joined. Now here, listen, listener. This is new. He's not coming from all the way across town. The podcast is coming from inside the house. Jeremy and myself, we are together in one podcast studio with a whole bunch of books, records, and garbage known as my office. Welcome, Jeremy.
It's lovely. Thank you for having me. I'm still enamored by these curtains that nobody can see but me, but they're amazing.
Yeah. Well, the thing about these curtains is they were here.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a bird on them. Okay.
Many birds.
It's the same bird over and over. What kind of bird would you say that is?
Pixel bird.
Pixel bird. Okay. See, I love the game Wingspan, as do you. I have yet to find the Pixel bird card in Wingspan. So
looks like there's some kind of a goat or deer or something. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure this is good podcasting with talking about curtains that people cannot see.
Well, maybe someday we'll do a listener event, because they could all fit in here.
Just bring the curtains with us when we travel. When we take this show on the road.
Yeah, it's definitely going places. The only way this show is going on the road is if someone's listening in their car. So that's it. But
that's the only place I listen to it.
Yeah, because the road noise really drowns it out.
Exactly.
So, well, today it's great to actually be able to record in one place.
Yeah.
We had some learning to do to make this happen, and it's all working right now. And so, listener, if you're listening to this, it means it worked overall, which is great. But it's also last episode that was just a real pain in the butt because of all of the technology problems and the internet issues that we had. And I hope if you listened to it, you didn't catch any of them. I tried to edit them all out, but the end. Did you listen to it yet?
Oh, I didn't, because I was like, I don't think I was involved in the last 10 minutes of it. So
the end is just me rambling about the worthlessness of our current existence, and it's like, I don't know how to end this. Bye.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will go better. We won't have to worry about internet buffering. My son is not here to yell through the walls about Call of Duty, so we're doing great.
Right, for this week. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes, but it's good to know that it can work, and hopefully in the future we can do more in-person stuff, because we're both vaccinated, we're healthy, so we can be in the same place.
I think so. Yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, we're still 12 feet apart, but
it's true.
And I've got this plexiglass screen in front of me,
mm-hmm.
but I just carry it around. So
the plexiglass hula hoop.
Yeah, it's heavy, but
it's effective.
I haven't had COVID, so we were at Starbucks. I'm sorry. We will talk about parks and recreation eventually, but we were at Starbucks yesterday, and we went into the lobby, and it was not fast. But I love the COVID security theater that's happening in the world around us, because you go to the airport, you're still taking your shoes off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. We're still doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like for a long time, we're just going to have random plexiglass squares in front of some places where you might have interactions with employees.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Starbucks that we went to had, the plexiglass squares by the registers, but just over the pastry case, nothing. And then it's an L shape. And so you order here at the first L and then turn left. And then the what are those espresso machines are right there, and they are to my chest level.
Right.
And so I can talk directly to the barista on the other side of the espresso machine,
who's making everybody's drinks.
Right. And no plexiglass screen there at all. And then the whole counter no plexiglass screen until the very end where it says pick up here. And I just look as like, this is not safe what we're doing. I'm not worried about getting COVID, but like, this is nothing. Like, this is a nothing burger. So this is so dumb. Speaking of nothing, let's talk about what Ron does for kids.
He prepares them for life.
Because this episode is season 4, episode 4, Pawnee Rangers. And if listener, it's raining really hard right now. So if you're picking that up in the microphone,
enjoy the Northwest with us.
Welcome. It is May. It is June.
Yeah, it's June. Have a storm.
Yeah. So in this episode, Ron is the director of the Pawnee Rangers, which is essentially an equivalent to the Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
And so right off the bat, the cold open is him talking about what they should expect for this weekend of survival training. And so that's the main story, because also then we have Leslie, who is leading the Pawnee Goddesses, which is a reaction to when some girl years ago wanted to join the Pawnee Rangers, and they said, no, it is a boys group. And so Leslie started the Pawnee Rangers on her behalf, essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was 5 years if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Right. So that's like the main arc of this episode. We also have 2 other arcs, which are fun. And as I was thinking about this is the episode where nothing is happening in the office, really.
Right.
It's like everybody's on a field trip. So the Pawnee Rangers, the Pawnee Goddesses, they've got their retreat, their survival training,
which just means everything shuts down at that point.
Yeah,
which is
Leslie's
hilarious.
gone.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then we have the story with Tom and Donna and Ben for Treat Yourself 2011.
Oh man.
Which, as I was watching this today, I was like, this episode is 10 years old. How have 10 years gone by so fast? And so there's that. And then there's also Chris and Jerry and Millicent, Jerry's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we kind of go in reverse order again,
sure,
and talk about these different events, I think that might make the most sense, because I want to give enough time to the arc with Leslie and Ron.
Right.
Okay. So let's start with Jerry and Chris.
Please.
So
get this out of the way.
It's so great. So with everybody out of the office, Jerry is still there.
See, that's the thing, like right there. With everybody out of the office, he's not everybody. Like, you're Jerrying Jerry right now.
I am, yeah. Because last week, everybody was in the office and Jerry disappeared.
That's great.
And so, like, it was such a great role reversal. Yeah. Jerry is still in the office doing whatever Jerry does, some kind of filing wrong, and so Chris comes to see come check in on the Parks Department. Is like, oh yeah, everybody's gone for the Rangers weekend. And so he's like, Jerry, why don't you just go ahead and take the day off too? And Jerry's like, I'll go. I'm great. I'm going to have lunch with my daughter, Millicent. You can come too, Chris. And right away, Chris says, no, I have no interest in that whatsoever. And then also he tells him, sorry, I wrote it down because it was so great the way he shut it down. Cause oh man, this is the problem with the 3 notes. The three time streams is I don't write 3 time streams in my notes. Okay. So, Chris is telling him how you should go get outside and be active because rats
the rat tumors,
who are stuck inside get rat tumors. And so Jerry says, Chris, you should come with us. It's like, no, Google those rat tumors.
Right. As his parting, I'm busy, but you should do this.
Google those rat tumors, which may be the way I leave every room.
I was going to say that's a good way to leave any room.
Google those rat tumors.
Google those rat tumors, everyone.
Yeah. So Chris shuts it down pretty quick, and then later, a couple hours later, Millicent comes to the office, and Jerry and Chris run into each other, and he introduces Millicent to Chris, and Chris says, "I immediately retroactively accept my previous rejection," which is
how come?
Well, because Millicent is a very attractive young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how Jerry Jerry talks about it. It's like, because we still haven't met Jerry's wife.
Exactly.
And Jerry says, I think she gets her looks from Gail. And Gail agrees.
It's true.
So Jerry's Jerry.
Yeah.
So they're going out to lunch. And at lunch, they find out that Millicent and Chris both love raising money for philanthropy. And raising money for on long distance bike rides is literally one of my likes on Facebook.
I thought they were collecting money for stamps.
Collecting money for stamps.
Isn't that what philanthropy is?
Nope.
Okay. What's that called?
Stamp collection?
Yeah, it's.
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Oh,
Fortunately, since we're not.
Maybe I should have researched this joke before I said it.
Maybe. What is stamp collecting? I'm looking it up. Don't worry, listener. You guys, because we're not using the internet, I can do all kinds of Google searches. Like, this is fine. It's called stamp collecting on Google, on Wikipedia. Oh man, this is gonna be. Oh, it's philately.
Philatelist.
Philately, yeah.
Yeah, that was close.
Philately.
Yeah, I thought they were raising money for stamps.
You're close. Yes, is the study of postage stamps and postal history.
Right, and they travel around just like fun runs.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So
and
they raise money by selling the stamps. Trying here.
Can you buy these stamps so you can write a letter to tell my family I'm still alive, looking for more stamps?
It's been a long journey. Every few years they keep raising it on me, so never have enough change.
We were Jocelyn and I were driving in Kirkland. Oh, to get the they got their vaccine shots yesterday, and so on the way to Redmond, we were driving by this area in Kirkland where she was like, "Dad, do you remember that time your car broke down?" Yeah, and we got a tow truck. Yeah, was that by a comic book store? Yeah. And then I said it was actually by two comic book stores, because one was called Amazing Heroes. That one's long gone. And then the other side of the same complex, there's this Bellevue Rare Stamp and Coin. And inside Bellevue Rare Stamp and Coin, you wouldn't know this unless you went inside, which only probably 8 people have done.
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of comic books.
Oh, wow.
Like back issues. So it's like Rare Stamp and Coin and comic books.
Yeah.
Tons of them.
But the sign was only so big.
Yeah. He's like, well, which do I want to lead with? My philately? Philately. Philately?
Yeah, sure.
A Filippelli.
Okay, but that's a Sure Universe reference, so
yeah,
that's okay.
So it's like I could go with philately or coinily. No, Bellevue Rare Stamp and Coin. Okay, we'll do that. Also, not even in Bellevue. It's so dumb. Anyway, so philanthropy is not philately.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we took the time to figure that out.
Can I tell you where the root of philanthropy comes from? Because I know.
Oh, yeah, please.
So philae is brotherly love, like Philadelphia.
Not the shoes.
No,
okay.
That's phila. Philae, brotherly love. Anthro, man. So like love of man. So philanthropy is raising money for other people, or like doing something for the benefit of others, for the love of man. So that's where that comes from. Anyway, this that Bible degree is paying off.
Finally.
Yeah, 3 years of Greek. So finally able to work that into a podcast, which is every pastor's dream. So then they go to lunch and they like everything's going great. And then Chris comes to Jerry later, says, I would like to ask Millicent out, and I would like you to know me better because I know this puts you in an awkward position. And so then he's like, I'd like to spend the next 3 weeks with you and invite you to come on our next 6 dates together. And Jerry is just like, I trust you. Don't worry about it. She's a grown woman. You're a grown man. I trust you. I trust her. Great. And so this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Next day, Chris comes to see Jerry. I said, Jerry, our date was great. And I just want to thank you for letting us be together, essentially. And then he said, also, I need you to know that Millicent spent the night at my house last night. See you later, buddy. So just way too much information from Chris to Jerry, which is a Chris move. Like he has no secrets.
Yeah.
So
he's moving fast, kind of like that kale salad.
Yeah, that's right. After lunch, before he asks permission to ask out Millie, he says, "I do." That lunch was great. It was so great. In fact, I've already moved my kale salad,
No secrets.
which that is like really fast.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know.
Kale.
I don't eat a lot of kale,
It's
so I don't know.
roughage.
I don't know how fast kale moves. On the ground, when I just put it in the garbage, it stays there. So, not a big fan of kale.
You don't hear people like catching kale. Oh man, I want to see somebody get rid of it.
I'm on a kale hunt. All right, so that's the C track, right?
Is that pretty much where it ends up?
Yeah,
Just like, hey, see you, buddy.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so B track is Tom, Donna and Jerry are so go back in time. Donna and Jerry are meeting with Ben, and Ben is essentially complaining that they're not filling in their budget paperwork on time.
Yeah, Ben seems really stressed out.
He's very very cranky pants.
Yeah.
And as the viewer, we know that he's upset because his relationship with Leslie is over because she's running for city council. So it's very, very sad. And we feel for Ben. Ben is one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
And so Ben is upset, and Donna keys in on this. And like his response to her is like, you need to turn these in. Like, yeah, we kind of run on our own time. And he's like, I need you to run on my time, which is like the most assertive I've ever seen Ben.
Right.
So Donna's like, whoa, this is too much. And then he's like, all right, we'll turn. She's like, we'll turn it in. We'll get it done. And then the next time we see Donna, Tom's coming in with DJ Blunt and a box of cupcakes because it's treat yourself.
The origin story.
Yes. One of the most important days in the Pawnee calendar for these two people.
Yeah. And I've seen bumper stickers that say treat yourself.
Right.
Like, I've heard people just out in the wild say it. They might not have ever seen it, the show, but they'll say it because it's so
ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's philanthropous. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's one of those things that people like.
Treat yourself.
Anytime you feel like I want to buy this just cause, that's a treat yourself moment.
What would you say? This isn't like brag session, and I mean it from like what's the thing that you probably shouldn't have bought, but just like it's your thing. It's the thing that you really like to do. And so what have you bought that's kind of, I don't want to say worthless, but you're like, I'm treating myself to this.
Well, it's not just one day a year. Every Wednesday, I go to a place called World of Collections. And Jeremy, you're in my office. You see all these white boxes here.
Oh, yeah, there's many of them.
These are filled with comic books.
I thought you were moving.
No, I'm not moving. These are comic books.
They're going to stay there.
Yeah. They are worthless. They have no value right now. My only hope is that everybody else's comic books burn down, catch on fire, and then these will be worth something. But in the meantime, I just like the stories.
Sure.
So I buy them.
So the value's there for you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, it's something I like.
Worthless, and
that doesn't have any impact on the rest of my life in any positive or negative way. It's just a thing I like.
And if your son were to want to read these comics, I mean, for the most part, it would be like, hey, this is something I can give to you.
There's only one comic book in this room that my children cannot read, and that is because it is in a plastic case because it's worth a lot of money.
There you go.
So it's up high. They don't even know where it is. Oh, you looked up.
Oh! I found it.
Yeah. So that's the only one they can't read. But I don't care. They can read whatever.
Sure.
So,
Nice.
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I was trying to think as I asked that question because I knew you were going to respond, and I don't really have anything other than I bought my first Technic set of Legos for the first time.
Wow.
I know.
Those are pricey.
I know that sounds goofy, but like I always wanted some, and it's kind of like when you get that adult money, you're like, hey, I can do this. And so who's going to say no?
Right.
And I did it, and it was fun.
Yeah.
I got a little like a backhoe, and you can turn it, and the thing like moves, and it's awesome.
So not even like a race car?
No.
You got a job?
Yeah, I got a job, you know? I can move because now I can move all those other Legos around.
This is going to slow down cleaning up so much.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. The kids wanted to dig a pool, and I said, no, we don't have enough time for this. So, yeah.
Yeah, it got me thinking. Another thing that I bought just cause, and it wasn't even that expensive. I bought Minecraft.
Well, I thought Minecraft was free. I thought it was like a virus. It's just everywhere.
No, well, I'm sure there's some ways you get it for free, but so Judah has had Minecraft on the Xbox.
Right.
I never played this Xbox. Sorry, I hit my microphone with my headphones. I have never played Minecraft on this Xbox because I don't get a turn.
Yeah.
So
Been there.
Yeah, so now I have a Nintendo Switch, which is upstairs, and Judah has no interest in the Switch, and so I bought Minecraft.
Nice.
And it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand Minecraft, but it's fine.
I'm basically just digging a hole.
Yeah, you laughed at me for getting the crane, and you're out there digging like pixel holes. So we all make our own work when we're playing. I guess.
What is work? What is money?
So okay, so listener, you can brag if you want, or just tell us the goofiest like treat yourself thing that you've ever bought. That'd be great. Just have fun with it.
Right.
We'll
That'd be awesome.
Tell everyone else what you bought.
Yeah, and if you don't want us to tell anybody, say
yeah.
Please keep this on the DL, and we just remove your name.
Sure.
So if anybody else listens and they happen to know what car you drive, they'll figure it out. But
yeah.
if I had money, to burn right now though,
this could go for a while.
This could, and it's worth it. Listener, it's worth it. If I had money to burn right now, or in the next couple months, I really am interested in the electric F-150.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Oh, you just jumped like way up.
That's $40,000.
That's $40,000. That is a treat yourself forever.
Yeah.
Or the next 5 years.
Like that would be one of those things that like the only way I would pay for it is if I had $40,000 right now.
Right.
And like my wife was like, let's just do it. And then I'd be like, okay. And I'd go before she changed her mind. That's the only way.
It's the frunk, isn't it?
Yes.
The front trunk. Because there's no engine.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Because your engine is underneath your car.
But like, if you think about it, like it's actually a really great idea for a work vehicle.
Sure.
Because the bed you can load up with all kinds of lumber and all that stuff. And your actual
expensive
tools can be locked up instead of in that little case that people have in the bed that takes away storage capacity.
Sure.
And also, those are not as secure as they look. You can break into those pretty easy.
Sure.
Like put it in the frunk, man.
I feel like maybe we shouldn't do a podcast in person. We just go off.
I think they're so cool.
They're amazing.
Those and the Broncos. If there was an all electric Bronco,
sure,
I would be on board for that too because the Broncos look really cool.
Those do look cool.
Anyway, so Tom and Donna are gonna treat themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Treat themselves. And it's
is dem the plural of yo? Yo's treat yo's self.
No,
yours.
Treat yourself is
Singular.
Second. Well, it's second person singular or plural because English doesn't have a good second person plural.
Oh, that's yeah.
We don't have a y'all.
Your is yeah.
Treat yo can be plural.
Yeah, that's
right. Because yo is not like Spanish I.
Yeah.
All right. So dem is the third person plural. Them.
Yeah, them.
So it's dem.
Yeah.
Treat themselves. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm positive I'm not supposed to talk about this. So they're the things that they're going to do. They're going to buy whatever clothes they want to buy, whatever shoes they want to buy. They do like manicures, pedicures, massages, acupuncture, all of that. And so yeah, they're going to do this. So they're really excited. Everybody's happy. DJ Blunt is there. And then Donna's like, we should invite Ben. He's been in a bad mood.
No.
Excellent, Tom. I love how Tom responds to him. He can never slow down enough to keep up with us.
We're relaxation experts.
Yeah, it's just such a great line. He can never slow down enough to keep up with us. Yeah, so good. I was listening to Foo Fighters yesterday.
Okay.
And they had a line, how can you go on murdering someone, killing me like you do?
Wow.
It's in the song Stitches off of the Learn to Fly album. I was introducing my kids to good music because we were going on a long drive to Redmond. And I was like, you're going to listen to what I'm telling you. We're going to listen to some Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, and then the Grunge Forever playlist on Spotify.
Raise them right.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying. 'Cause sometimes I hear what they're listening to. I'm like, that's not music. That's just beat boops.
Get off of my lawn.
Exactly. So, so we, that line though, like I paused the song. I was like, let's talk about that.
Guys, let's break this down.
How can you go on murdering someone, killing me like you do? It's a good line.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Tom is not for it, but Donna is trying. And then as they are leaving, heading out to the mall, they see Ben. And Donna's like, is he eating soup on a bench by himself?
And I love the writers, like, what's the most pathetic thing you could be doing in an office complex? Like, what's the most pathetic? Like, and I like soup, but it was perfect. It's the perfect.
It's like such an old man thing to do. Like, you know, all your friends are dead. Like, the only thing you have looked forward to is walking to the corner deli and buying some soup, and you're too tired to walk home and eat it, so you sit down. That's Ben right now.
It's the same soup every day too.
Yeah, it's like the mushroom soup.
Would you like
Why
crackers?
are you getting mushroom soup?
You want crackers with that? Whoa.
I don't have teeth.
I want those spicy crackers.
Spicy crackers. You know, I'm very distracted today. But like mushroom soup. Like you get the can of soup, right? And the idea with the cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery. How do you cream a celery? So you get all of these.
Beat it up really bad.
Do you think there are people who are like, that's my favorite soup?
Right now? Like as we are saying this?
In the world.
Yeah.
Who like, man, I would love just a good old hot.
Just a warm bowl of cream of celery.
Oh.
You want anything in there? Nope.
No. Just the soup.
Cream of beet soup.
It came in the can the way Campbell's designed it.
Right.
Like if God wanted us to eat it differently, he'd put more stuff in it.
That's right.
So, yeah, anyway.
A lot less like fibers in your teeth.
These are the kinds of things I think about often. Well, because one of our family favorite recipe has cream of chicken soup in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the soup aisle. It's not in the ingredients aisle for other things. It's in the soups.
Yeah, you can just eat it.
You can. You totally can. There's no law from God or man saying you cannot eat it that way.
I saw an article that I guess this couple had been eating this pate for like years.
Oh no.
And then they found out that it was like fancy feast. Like it was cat food, that they're delicious pate. So you do have to check the aisle that you're buying your ingredients from.
Yeah, if you go down, if like you're walking down the aisle and nearby are squeak toys
and kitty litter,
those foods are not for you. I know it looks good on the box. This dog looks happy.
Man, they eat better meat than I do.
They might. So Donna convinces Tom to get Ben, and they go to the mall.
All right, fine.
And they start with the spa, and Tom is trying to convince Ben in the ways of treat yourself. And he's like, I just don't get it. I don't understand. So Tom is trying to convince him. But
it's like the more that Tom is trying to get him to relax, the tenser Ben gets.
Right.
Which is great.
Yeah, which is a great... Yeah, Ben is their summation of Ben is great. He's a wound up rubber band.
Right.
Always. Like the rest of his life. Like he never really gets to a relaxed state.
Right.
Because if he did, he would probably die.
Or he would just make claymation forever.
Right, exactly. He does not know how to not be working.
Right.
So, oh man, that's going to be... I'm really excited for that episode. Or a game.
Yeah.
This is garbage. I'll throw it away. So then he also said, look, Donna does acupuncture, and she comes out and her face is all needled up like Hellraiser. So Ben, next time we see Ben, he is now getting acupuncture. And he's like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And please make it stop. Like everything about it is not helping Ben at all. So this treat yourself situation for Ben is not going well. Then they try clothes, and they have all kinds of different outfits and shoes. And Ben is still just like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. And like, as somebody who's not really a clothes person, I don't know.
Right.
Like, none of that sounds fun to me. So, so then they're walking through the mall and talking about all the great stuff they have here. This mall has 3 Burberry stores. If you tell your friend, meet me at Burberry, you have to specify which one.
Eagleton.
They're at the Eagleton Mall. And then as they're wrapping up the shopping thing, they're like, Ben, did you buy anything for yourself? He's like, I bought these white socks.
Which, at that exact moment, it reminded me that I too need socks.
Yeah.
Like,
socks are great.
I could use some socks.
I recently spent $20 for 2 pairs of socks.
Wow.
And I was like, these are luxurious. They're
You really treated yourself.
I did. They're running socks, and they have the little.
Did you catch up with them?
Ha 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 ha. Whew. Wow. And so, but they have the little like ridge on the. I keep hitting the dumb mic with my headphone. The little ridge on the back with your Achilles tendon.
Oh yeah.
To keep the sock up above your shoe.
Yeah,
I love that.
that's nice.
Because sometimes when you get new running shoes, I guess that's another thing where I spend more than I really.
But you run though.
I do
that's,
run.
That's not. I don't think that's a really treat yourself. Like now, if they came out with like limited edition gold plated, like ultra
It'd be too heavy.
Olympic, gold leaf plated, you know, Usain Bolt, you know,
No.
ones that are like $1,200. You're like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm gonna treat myself.
No, as soon as somebody puts their name on a shoe
Like, nope.
or a guitar or anything, it's like I don't want that anymore. So, yeah, because that.
So much for the Campbell soup. Campbell's signature soup.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Is Progresso somebody's actual name?
Mr.
Progresso.
Mr. Progresso. Well,
dang it.
Progresso is my middle name.
You can call me Dr. Progresso. Yeah, I don't know when people
Ford, you couldn't get the Lightning.
oh my gosh.
Killing you.
Okay, standards are over. So yeah, I guess if Usain Bolt had Brooks running shoes, if Brooks all of a sudden sponsored Usain Bolt, he's like Nike and your billions of dollars. No thanks.
No thanks.
I'm going with that small company from Bothell.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah. So then they're like, listen, you got to buy yourself something to make yourself feel better. What is one thing that you could buy, Ben, that would actually like you? There's no other reason than you just want to have. It's like, yeah, there is something. And so then they go.
Well, and right before that, what I love about that is like Donna's so wise too, because she's like, maybe our way of treat yourself is not his way. And
Right.
so she's being empathetic and like, but so there's got to be something that you want. If it's not what we're doing, that's fine. But you still need to, and that's just really cool to see like the friendship that they really are. Donna obviously wanted to tag along. She could have just given up on him. Like he's not trying hard enough or something, but she's like, no, look, we're going to do this. It was like her mission, which we see later with Jerry when her and Jerry hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Donna's awesome.
Yeah, she's very attentive to the people.
Yeah.
Like she knew what Ben's drink was
Mm-hmm.
several
Yeah.
episodes
Wow.
ago. Like she just knows.
Yeah.
She's like the office mom who just kind of knows the vibe of what's going on in the office.
Right.
Right? Like moms always know more about what's going on in the house than the dads.
Right.
I mean, we're basically like, I'll do what I need to do,
Mhm.
but like emotions, I don't know.
Yeah, we're very surface level kind of.
Yeah.
Is there garbage needs to be taken out? Come
Yeah,
there.
give me something to do,
Yeah.
and I'll do that. But if it, yeah, so moms, they just generally know, and so Donna is like aware, like a mom, like I know what's going on, I know
Mhm.
what you need, and so she's there for Ben, and so they go to a store in the mall where Ben can buy for himself the thing that he's been looking for a long time, and he buys a full-on Batman costume, muscles, everything, cape, cowl.
And it's nice.
the
It's
whole deal.
not. It's not like some chintzy Halloween, strip mall store version.
No, it would be like minimum $500 for something like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, and so he's treating himself.
Yeah.
And
Like
and
you're going to Comic-Con, you want to make an impression. This is
Right.
what you're wearing.
you want people to say Batman's really here.
Yeah.
That's what you wear.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if someone actually says that, then they're pretty dumb.
That's true.
So you probably don't need to spend that much money to fool that person. But anyway, so so he buys it and they're talking and Ben is just like, or Tom is just like, what is this? Like, this is amazing. This is the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. And Ben's like, no, this is ridiculous. No. And Tom's trying to be a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, this is you.
Right.
You're buying this and you're wearing it out of the store.
Right.
And I love that so much. Like, you're wearing it out. And he does.
Not only that, I think it's for the rest of the episode.
We do not see Ben outside of that.
Yeah.
For the rest of this episode. Yeah. And so probably because they rented it and they're like, we're going to get the most out of this as we
Right.
can. So they're talking and Ben is like saying like, yeah, listen, I've just been having a really hard time. And he starts crying.
Right.
And like watching Batman cry, it's a really special experience.
It's so sad.
Talking
It's
about like, I was in a
hilarious.
relationship with somebody and it recently ended. And like, it's just like the juxtaposition of Batman and Ben like coming together in this soft, tender moment. It's just so wonderful. So Yeah.
It's genius.
It's some of the best writing on all of television of all time. And then I think that's the mall, right? Anything else from the mall?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
So then they go, the credit scene is at Andy and April's house with Ben, and Andy and April are both trying to do things on the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, just get on.
The internet's not working, is
Right.
what they say. And they're like, Ben, you need to come fix the internet. And so he's like, it's so simple. And he comes out in the Batman outfit.
Right. From the room. It's like a clean entrance.
Yes.
Like, right. So it's a reveal. He's been in this the whole time.
Yes. And so he's just like, I've told you like 100 times, you just have to reset the router. And Andy and April are both just staring at him. Like,
Somehow he got into his room without them seeing.
yeah, like there's a couple levels of awe of
Right.
what's happening right now. And I think April is her response is like, what are you wearing?
Right.
Andy's response is more, what are you talking about?
Like unplugging the router.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Like,
fine. Batman's fine, but the router? What
Yeah.
is this?
So they're both just like, huh? And so he's like, oh, you just got to go in and unplug it. And so Batman
Yes.
gets down on his knees under the desk, unplugs the router, and plugs it back in. He's like, there, that should do it. And April's like, it's still not working. He's like, and this is my favorite line. Give it a minute, God. Batman, just give it a minute, God.
But then again, it's that juxtaposition of here's Batman saving the day. He's a superhero for these two people who can't fend for themselves
Right.
with the internet.
Or anything.
Or
I mean,
really anything, exactly.
Ben-
So he is the hero.
oh my gosh. Ben is their Bruce Wayne.
He's their Bruce Wayne.
He's their Bruce Wayne and their Batman.
Yeah.
He gave them money to be adults.
Yes. Yeah, he's funding them. He
Wow.
likes that philanthropy.
Philanthropy?
Mhm.
A Filippelli. Yeah, so that's the B
It's
plot.
so funny.
I just love, and then as he's leaving, going back into his room, he swooshes his
Yes.
cape as he turns the corner. It's so great. It's
So
so
Batman.
great. Yeah, so like I would stop here. Like that
Sure.
is enough of this like that plot right there is enough episode for me. But there's more, Jeremy.
There's so much more.
There's more. Because the A plot is Ron getting ready to go on the trip to the weekend. And he introduces himself to the gentleman and is like, this weekend you will I'll just read the intro, his opening speech. Gentlemen, Wilderness Weekend is upon us. There will be no video games. There will be no internet pads. This weekend you have two parents, me and Mother Nature. And then Andy says, and I am Mother Nature's brother, Brother Nature. But you can call me Andy. Or Brother Nature. Your call. Thank you, Andy. Brother Nature.
Your call. No, it's Brother Nature. Doesn't understand what your call means.
Yeah, and I do wish, I really, really wish that he would have been Uncle Nature.
Uncle Nature.
Yeah, it would have been so much, I think that would have been much funnier. Even though brother and mother rhyme, he's Mother Nature's brother. So he's their uncle.
Uncle Nature.
Uncle Nature.
Yeah.
I think that would have been more fun. But whatever, Michael, sure. You do you. And so Ron tells them like 3 years he's been serving as the Pawnee Rangers. And then he reveals his handbook. It's just a folded over piece of paper. There's actually a couple pieces of paper
You're right.
stapled together.
There's a cover plus the inside.
Yeah. It opens it up. One rule, be a man. It's like, I wrote it all myself. That's the whole thing.
That's it.
And all the rest of the paper, I don't know. Maybe it's to start fires. Like just
True.
to rip off a piece
Yeah.
as a little bit of tinder to get a fire going. So
Use the whole book.
yeah. So that's the Pawnee Rangers. That's their whole thing. But then Leslie's got another thing going on. And it's in her meeting with her team. She's handing out badges for flyest hairstyle, and best penguin blog, and most community service. And Anne gets the second flyest hairstyle badge. Anne's just like, oh, I wasn't competing. And Leslie's response, I'll say.
And I felt like there's this underlying, like, Anne is not part of this group, this world, but she's along for the ride. And yet she's kind of the heel a little bit through this whole thing.
Well, I think what Leslie's trying to do, I thought about this, because Anne's terrible at everything.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to empower young women.
Including Anne.
No. Anne is part of the old women. They do not get empowered.
Oh, I see.
So anybody like, so Anne and Leslie are the same age, right?
Right.
Maybe. Anybody April's age and younger, Leslie is very into empowering them. And so she's fine in this situation, elevating all of them over Anne.
Gotcha.
Basically saying like, Anne, you're here to help them feel good about themselves.
That's right. And if you're going to do this, you need to do it from within. You need to find your own, step up your game.
Yeah. Something like that.
Have better hair.
Right. Try it next time.
But I'm not going to lift you up.
No.
You should know.
Yeah. She's an adult.
You know what you didn't do.
So, yeah, so they're getting ready. So Leslie leads this group. It's called the Pawnee Goddesses, and they're freaking awesome. And so Leslie's trying to say, like, as they're getting ready to go, like, Ron, you know my group's better. Say it. And Ron just shuts up. And Ron's talking head is like, I never say when somebody asks me to say, I never say that. My wedding was 2 hours long because as soon as the priest said, repeat after me, I felt a silence. So,
this is the friction for the rest of the episode. Is
Right.
This competition between the two groups.
Yeah, which shouldn't exist, but the group exists because several years ago, some boys, the girl wanted to join the Pawnee Rangers, and they said no, and so the Pawnee Goddesses was formed, and Leslie reads it, and Ron is, he's saying like this group exists because some boys want to learn survival skills without being distracted by girls. True.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Ron is coming from his worldview, his understanding, and he's operating in that, right?
Sure.
Can't fault Ron at this point. He is doing exactly what he was requested to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he is doing the thing, right? So that's basically the whole credit or cold open is setting up that plot line. So fast forward, and then
It's a good fast forward sound.
thank you. So they are at the lake, which is a very small lake.
Almost like a pond.
It is very much like a pond. Yeah, good point. So they're at the lake, and Ron is starting off, and he's giving the boys a reward for coming on the trip, and it's they all open it up and they like, what is this? Because there's two rewards. First is a piece of canvas, which is the most versatile piece of equipment that the human race has ever created in Ron's perspective. And the other one is the box itself. And they have 10 minutes to make a shelter with both of their gifts.
Go.
So they are doing that. And then while that's happening, the Pawnee Goddesses are doing their own thing in a cabin, which is really nice.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so nice that Leslie's going to have a hard time giving out the cabin refurbishment badges, which is like, where did she make all these? I don't know. And then they also see that like Lauren is doing a great craft, and she made a Gertrude Stein, which is a play on words. It's a Stein with Gertrude Stein upon it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, and then, this is where my theory came in, where Anne is there to make them all look better. Because then she's like, I would hate to follow that, Gertrude Stein. Anne, what do you have? And Anne
Just sets her up.
yeah, Anne was making corn husk dolls that look terrible, and they look like monsters. And Anne also then just says, I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the fire. And Leslie, like, well, Anne's keeping us warm, and that's also valuable. So,
But for half a second, this doesn't go anywhere because it's not that kind of a show. But I thought, like, this is how horror movies start. Like
all the girls out on the cabin.
Well, you're in a cabin in the woods, and then somebody makes the creepy corn husk doll and then burns it in the fire.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here comes the children of the corn husks.
Yeah. Uncle Cornhusk.
Uncle, you can call me Uncle Corn Husk.
So,
Your call.
yeah, well, thank you, Husk, Uncle Cornhusk. And so then it turns to April. April drew on her arm a settler being her husband, a grandmother being killed by a buffalo, and that's her blood on her face. All the girls are super into it, so pretty great. So that's so the weekend's getting started here, and then they're eating outside, and April is like, this homemade Leslie's like, this homemade bulgogi is great, way to go. To Kayla and then Ron and his group, they're eating lukewarm beans. So very stark contrast between the two. And Ron's like, I'm trying to teach them how to ration food, and your indulgent food court is not is not helping.
I love the food court line.
And it's like, if you look behind, there are different nationalities
Right.
that are like represented. So like they really were going for it
Sure.
on this weekend away. And so Ron is very focused on how do we survive in the wilderness, and Leslie's like, how do we enjoy our lives?
Right. How do we have fun in the wilderness?
Right. And so they're going over their they go over their weekend. They've got a lot of stuff, puppet show, got a hike, a whole thing on the Bill of Rights, set to party in the USA. And then they look and Darren asks, what's on our schedule, Mr. Swanson? And they have one event, not getting killed.
And it's at this point that the wilderness, like especially Darren, is starting to feel like, you can just tell by the looks on the boys' face, like, this sucks. They look like they're having fun.
Yeah. Right. Because they are.
Yeah, because they are.
So cut back. Time progresses. Go back into the cabin, and Leslie's like, "All right, everybody, that was our best pillow fight yet." It's good. And so the golden pillow goes to Lulu. The silver pillow goes to Janie. And then somebody's knocking on the door, and it is Darren. And he's like, "I don't want to be a ranger anymore. I want to become a Pawnee goddess." And then Leslie's talking head. "I did it. My club is officially the best club. I would give myself a merit badge for best club founder, but I don't have one, so I'm going to give myself prettiest eyes as a placeholder. I've always wanted this one."
So it all works out.
So, so then that's a commercial break. Come back from commercial break, and Ron is like, "So you're defecting?" And Darren's like, "I like you, but all we do is sit around and eat beans." and Ron again's like, "That was a reward."
Right.
Those beans are a reward. So Leslie's like, "Well, listen, Darren, the group is only for girls, so you're gonna have to stay with the Rangers." And so Ron is like, "Get back to your canvas box. We'll not talk about this anymore, and I'll thank you to keep it down so our boys can focus on solitude." Like Ron's really going for it here. And so this is so the tension is happening. Leslie's group is better and is more exciting than the boys group, and so then they are back in the cabin, and Leslie's like, "I just wanted to thank you for not cheering when I sent Darren away."
Yeah.
What? So, and they're like, "Well, listen, Leslie, I don't know if this is a great idea. Shouldn't we? Isn't this the same thing? Why this Pawnee Rangers started was because somebody was excluded. So shouldn't we welcome them?" And then they get to the point where they're like, "We need to have a public forum about this.
Yep.
This is what you've always taught us." And Leslie's response is like, "I've made a bunch of little Leslie note monsters. I'm proud, but super annoyed."
But mostly proud.
So they do. They have a public forum
Yeah.
with the Rangers and the Goddesses, and
I watched this episode with my kids, and now my oldest daughter, anytime there's anything that could be contested at all, she says public forum.
that sounds super fun.
Like that's her parlay. Like that's her. Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
That sounds not like a great time.
She got empowered by Leslie Knope.
This is why I don't let my kids watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
Boy and girl, they're just practicing solitude.
Good.
All the time.
What color tarp did you get them?
Beige.
Right.
Like a real American tarp. Ron got them red tarps. Burgundy tarps.
Right. That's too flashy.
It's like, what is this? A wine convention? Come on, Ron. You know better. Doesn't even blend in. I guess if you don't want hunters to shoot your tarp.
That's true.
They're like, "Oh, that's not a color that occurs naturally, and don't shoot that."
Don't shoot the maroon blob.
What is that, a deer? No, it's Ron's tents. Ron's tents? It's a whole thing. I was in a Pawnee Ranger. It's not as fun as it sounds.
Were you
I'm not
ever...
alive. I'm still alive though, so I guess it worked.
Yeah, it really helped my suburban existence. Were you ever in like a outdoor club like that, like Boy Scouts or?
I went to Cub Scouts for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then we stopped.
There's like I can't handle the beans.
Oh, I don't know. Like we never even got to outside. It was like Cub Scouts, so like kindergarten, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
Like we started going and then we stopped. I don't remember ever like my parents saying we're not going to do that anymore.
Mate,
it's too expensive.
What if the group moved outside, but you didn't?
Maybe
They left.
Maybe they sent an email that nobody had back then.
No, I'm just saying. Maybe they were like, "Gee, well, if we leave him."
I don't know, but that just stopped. And then our church had a thing called Royal Rangers.
Oh yeah.
and I was in that for a while.
Yeah, ours had Awana, Sparks, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I remember about that is there was a game where you ran around a big circle, and like 4 groups of people ran around the outside of the circle, and then you run into the middle, and there's a bean bag with a bowling pin on top, and it was just Thunderdome. Everyone tried to grab it, and there were multiple concussions.
So it's like a capture the flag.
Yeah, but there's one flag, and everybody's trying to get it. Yeah,
That sounds really fun.
yeah.
We had a thing like that in youth group, so middle school. But we also had a strobe light.
Perfect. So epilepsy and
Yeah, it was super fun.
concussions.
Youth group was great. Yeah, so Royal Rangers though, they had these different levels. Like the first one was straight arrow, greenhorn, straight arrow, pioneer, all these different levels. I never got out of greenhorn because I did not get my cut chop card, like how to handle knives and like tie knots and stuff. And I was like, forget this. Growing pains is on.
Gotta get to that TGI Fridays.
It was Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm pretty much useless out there.
Yeah, it's okay.
So
Good thing we live in the city.
yeah, good thing. Yeah. So you had Awana, but yeah, I guess Royal Rangers was in my denomination. I don't think you didn't go to Awana.
It was like anybody could go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are not that way. The Assemblies of God had a thing called missionettes for girls. And it was all like Bible memorization. Sounds awful.
Wow, they didn't even get a chop stuff or tie knots?
I don't think so.
Come on, guys.
My sister was a missionette. I should call her.
Look how she turned out.
She lives in Oklahoma. She's surviving. She's more outdoorsy than any of the Royal Rangers I know. So, yeah. So the in the public forum,
oh yeah,
they are talking, and one of the girls, Abigail, says, "Isn't this like Brown versus Board of Education? Separate but equal is never equal. Never actually equal. We should let the boys in." And then another girl, Casey, says, "I disagree. There's a benefit to educating gender separately."
Good point.
And yeah, so like this is good. And so then Leslie calls on one of the Rangers, Darren, and Darren's response is, "It's cold and dirty out here, and you guys have candy. I want the candy."
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, and Leslie even says in her talking point, "We do have really great candy."
Yeah.
So
and Leslie, knowing how much Leslie loves candy and how much she also likes to share and make people feel better, it's like I think that really was the turning point. She's like, I can't withhold candy from people who want it, right?
Yeah.
When she has such great candy,
right,
and peanut brittle.
But this is not the end of the public forum.
No,
because they go back to follow the other plot lines, and then Ron is giving his final words, and he's like, "Boys, I'm trying to teach you something about nature and self-reliance. Nothing beats hard work and determination." And then it's at this time that a woman drives up and is like, "Is this the Pawnee Goddesses? I've got the puppies you ordered because they're going to have a puppy party."
Sure.
Which sounds awesome. I love puppies.
Yeah, puppies are cool.
I love dogs.
Puppies are cool.
Puppies are great. If you don't own a puppy, that's even more fun. So like
borrowing somebody else's,
like having access to a puppy where it's like being a grandparent.
Yeah.
Like that's not your kid.
Nope.
But you get all the fun of it.
Yeah, somebody else has to pick up his poop.
Exactly.
Just like a kid.
Yeah, so it's a great system. And so I don't know where you like I don't want to Google search puppy party because
you don't want that in your browser history.
No, I don't want to be flagged.
Right. Or just that all of your Google ads are now somehow canine involved.
Well, no, I just really don't. I think the FBI looks out for those kinds of things. Where can I get a bunch of puppies?
Wow.
And candy. Because did I ever told you
windowless vans. What?
Have I ever told you this? Like when we were kids, like the big thing was like a guy in a van is going to ask you,
sure,
like, "Do you know where my puppy is?"
Right.
That happened to me when I was a kid, like right outside my driveway at home. Like I was just playing on the grass in the yard, and a guy comes up, is like, "Hey kid, have you seen my puppy?" That actually happened to me, and I was like, "No, go away." And it was years later that I was like, that guy might have been trying to kidnap me. like,
did your parents teach you, or were you just being like,
no, I was just being a jerk.
Like, I don't know.
I don't know where your puppy is. Be more responsible.
Not my job.
Like, I got my own dog back there I'm neglecting. Sadly.
Oh,
I could have had the dog out playing with the dog, but no.
Yeah, I don't want to go down like, nostalgia times, but when growing up, we used to do fundraisers at my school where we'd go door to door selling candy bars or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I should have, my parents just let me go out by myself.
Right.
With boxes of candy and money.
Yeah.
You're right. And I'm still here, obviously,
Right.
but there's a high percentage chance I shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff where it's
stand
like
in the foyer while I get change. Okay.
a lot of stuff that our parents let us do where it's like, well, this is what everybody's doing, right?
Right. And when people joke about where were the parents, like when you watch E.T. and stuff like that, that's how it was.
Yeah.
At least where I grew up.
Right.
It really was just kids on bikes,
doing whatever,
trying to save the world from aliens and stuff.
Yeah. There were no internet pads.
Yeah.
So
we had to go make our own dangerous fun.
Did you have the gift wrapping fundraiser?
Once or twice, but our main one was these candy bars.
Those candy bars were gross, by the way.
They were really gross.
I had to buy a lot of those.
Yes, I did too. Because you get hungry when you're out there. You're trekking. You're schlepping those things around. You're like, I need the caramel nutty bar.
I need to fuel like a champion if I'm going to fundraise like a champion.
And I always banked on every time I went out. There was some little lady who was like, and one for you. And so she'd give me an extra $1 and I could have one.
Yeah. I always banked on
Sometimes I just use my allowance
money
too.
buying a bunch of candy bars. So
yeah, that's how I won my first Nintendo.
Wow.
Yeah, I sold a lot of candy bars.
See, I'm terrible at sales. So I would do we had the gift wrapping fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
So like gift wrapping, peanut brittle, basically like a third of Sharper Image catalog we were selling. None of the technology stuff, but all the like knick-knacky stuff. And so we would go around and like take all these orders from our neighbors. And I was asking my teacher, Miss Otto, and so I was like, how do we do this? So like, are you gonna send it to them? And they're like, no, it'll all come here, and you will take it to them. Like I don't think that's a good idea. So I was pretty dissuaded from like, you're asking me to go to a stranger's house twice, like and like come back.
Now they
and,
can
like,
plan for me to be there,
right? But like, I'm gonna have to carry all of this. Like, what if they buy a lot of wrapping paper?
We were just Amazon Prime before it existed.
Yes, with no vans.
Yeah,
like
we were child labor.
We were, and like this is one of the reasons
like
why
Oliver Twist kids just running around.
Yeah, and part of the reason why I always vote for school levies is because like kids
I don't want to do fundraisers.
Yeah, kids should not have to walk around asking for money to go to school. Like, we should be willing to pay for that. So
I guess.
No, that's a firm conviction. If I remember to vote, I always vote yes. Because that's true.
They gotcha. They know.
They know.
It's all in the wording.
Yeah, if I remember, I will vote for that. Sure. All right. Where are we at? So the puppies come and then cut back to Leslie.
And it's at this point though, it's over. Like the tide has turned. Like Andy's in, the puppies are amazing. He's excited. And everybody runs over there. And Ron knows it's kind of over.
Right. And so Leslie is initiating all of these boys into the Pawnee Goddesses with her pledge. I could read the pledge, but I think you should really just find it on your own. Because I don't want to scroll through this list anymore. So they do this pledge. And as they're doing the pledge, Leslie looks out and sees Ron out there by himself, packing everything up, and she feels bad. And so she goes, tries to console him, invite him over, and be a part of the group. And Ron, this is where Ron says, like, look, I don't know what kids think is fun anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, the times have changed.
And they don't understand me.
Right. And so Ron's like, I just don't know what to do. Leslie, your group is better. So he's conceding defeat, and he's bummed out. But that's not where that story ends for Ron. It will be better. But the next day, everybody's hanging out, having a good time. It's basically like summer camp now. Boys and girls having fun together. And Anne is fishing, and she pulls up, reels in this great big fish.
Everyone's cheering.
Everyone's so excited, and it's a fish that is way too big to be in this pond. And she's like, yeah, I bought this, and I stood out there for 30 minutes with that fish on the line because I saw it on I Love Lucy, and I really just want a bunch of young boys to be really into me. That didn't sound right.
Yeah.
So
it was a pond mackerel.
yeah, mackerel. Yeah. So then, so that party's going great.
And so then they're like, hey, Ron, come fish with us. Come on, Ron, because he is a fisherman. They're doing something that's kind of in his wheelhouse. Leslie's trying to include him, and right as he's about to, it looks like he's kind of going to think about it, Andy starts the first, whatever goddess. Leslie Nope.
Pawnee Goddess remote control speedboat derby.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ron's like, and I'm
it's
out.
over.
He just waves. And
yeah.
Kind of sad.
Yeah. But come to find out on Monday, Ron comes into his office and there's a bunch of kids in there. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? And we're here for the club. That was last week. The ad says today. And there's an ad in the paper. And I don't know if you noticed this when you're watching this, but the paper where the ad is in the comics section.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Because it's folded over and there's a bunch of comics on the backside.
Awesome.
So it's like this. Leslie is so smart. She's like, this
needs
to go where the kids are going to see it.
Perfect.
And so, this is the ad. Are you as tough as nails? Would you rather sleep on a bed of pine needles than a mattress? Do you find video games pointless and shopping malls stupid? Do you march to the beat of your own drummer? Did you make the drum yourself? If so, you might just have what it takes to be a Swanson. Pawnee's most hardcore outdoor club starts today. Boys and girls, welcome. And so Swanson's like, Swansons, are you prepared for whatever lies ahead? Yes, sir. Before we proceed, do any of you have any dietary restrictions? And they all say no. And he's correct. You do not. First outing is right now. I'll be teaching you to dig a proper trench. Does that sound like something you want to do? Yes, sir. Well, this will be no fun at all.
Perfect.
So that's the wrap up of that. So the Swansons is a thing.
Yeah.
With people who actually want to do what Ron wants to do.
And that was kind of the theme of like the whole episode with Ben not doing, like Ben was doing his version of Treat Yourself. Like, so when he's trying to do Donna and Tom's, it didn't work. But once he found his, and now once Ron found the people that wanted to do the same thing he did, it's perfect. It's, I don't even know what the overarching word for this would be if you were to boil it down, but I don't know. You got to find your group, find your tribe, I guess. Yeah.
There's a book by Seth Godin called Tribes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can find the people who are into the things that you're into, that's your tribe. And leading that tribe can be more fun than trying to get people who don't want to do what you want to do. So look for your people. And so listener, thank you for listening. You're our people.
Yeah.
If you want to help us get that F-150, that's cool.
Just one? Do we have to share?
If you want to get us two F-150s, that's cool.
So that's an F300.
Wouldn't that be rad?
Could be.
What if
we're on overtime at this point, right?
Yeah, this is bonus time now. Okay. So listener, if you're still here,
stop.
If you're still here, wouldn't it be rad if as we get more and more involved in the electric vehicles and stuff, they realize there are ways to connect these together?
Oh, like Megatruck,
Voltron,
Voltruck.
Yeah, if we could get a Voltruck or a Power Ranger situation, man, the
Power Ford Ranger.
Yes.
Power Ford Rangers.
I'm so excited. So yeah. Anyway, I really enjoyed this episode. I do think it is it reveals a lot about a lot of different characters.
Mm-hmm.
We learn more about Ben. We don't learn a lot about Ben, but we see more about who Ben is.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that happens with Ben is a surprise.
Right.
But it's that sounds about right.
That'd be the thing that he would pick. Sure.
We learn a lot about Donna and Tom and all the stuff they're into. And then we see, Ron's motivations of, helping people survive and self-reliance, all these things. You look at somebody like a Ron and a super libertarian person, they're like, they're just a curmudgeon. But it's well, no, they fundamentally, these people want to live in a lifestyle of self-reliance.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. And so helping Ron see there's nothing wrong with you is one of the great things that Leslie does for her friends.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that so much. So
yeah. And again, with this episode, when they start putting people together, as writers, and just the different dynamics between Donna and Tom, this is one of the first times we really see them, hanging out and doing stuff. And so then you throw Ben in the mix. So I just like how, I know it's having done a little bit of trying to write characters and stuff. It's what would happen if these characters are in this situation? And so you've got Chris and Jerry, so that those two haven't really interacted. And so we'll have Donna and Jerry. So there's all these characters that if you watch through the series, they'll kind of just pair them up to go like, well, let's see what happens. That's probably the start of the idea. And then of course it's really funny, but they keep the characters true to who they are. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is kind of one of those episodes I felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all around solid app.
Yeah. I think it was like 8.2 or an 8.3 on IMDb.
I didn't even look.
Yeah, and as just from the fact that it's the Treat Yourself episode, it's got to be at least an 8.6.
Right. Yeah.
So,
because that will come back, listener. Treat yourself. So
yeah.
We would love to hear how you would treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go email us at parksandconversation@gmail.com. And if you like the show, thanks. Tell someone about it.
Yeah.
I guess there's a thing called iTunes and people rate and review things. I'm not much of a rater or reviewer, but if you are, rate and review. The end. How's that sound, Jeremy?
That sounds good. And I feel like because we're in the same room, we don't have to do the whole talk to you later.
I guess.
Because I'm going to talk to you as soon as this is over.
No.
All right. Well, listener.
All right. Yeah, we'll see y'all later, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.